second.
Roll call.
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes. Madam Clerk, step forward.
You.
Welcome.
Morning.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We're glad you're here.
Anyway, would you like me to start?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to say, first of all, I wanted to bring up a couple of our employees from our auto title department. She's very uncomfortable with all of this, but this is Diana. She does not want to be here, and Jamie, who hopefully does. And of course, I've got Debbie Baird too. I think you guys are all pretty familiar with Debbie.
Good morning.
But anyway, I wanted to explain a little bit about how we get this money down in auto title, because I don't really think people have a good grasp on why we actually have money down there. And I think the reason for it is this. It's not taxpayer money. It is citizen money, of course, and people that buy cars and have titles, that's where the money is coming from. And of course, the state of Ohio has a finite number of these titles that they give out every year, or that we process every year through our auto title departments in the 88 counties, and they're all processed by the clerk of courts. Well, in 2000, it used to be that you actually had to go to the county that you resided in to get your title. Mm-hmm. And in 2001, I think it was, that they eliminated that. And that really gave us smaller counties the ability to compete with bigger counties for their title work. And we've been really, really successful with that. And over the years, I believe, not including this, I think almost $2.5 million, we're going to be giving to the general fund to save the taxpayers the expense of having to, come up with some new taxes or something like that. This is money that will supplement our general fund. In the years, we've had about $5.5 million that we've turned over since I've become clerk, and this is just another actually almost $3 million that we're turning over to the general fund today. So I think I want to say that I'm really glad that we were able to all work on this together, and that I think that it's a happy resolution, and I enjoyed working with you all, and I figured you probably want to say thank you to our clerks here that work so hard for us.
Thank you, ladies.
They do an amazing job. Mm-hmm.
Jill, do you want us to get a picture with you and the clerks?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
With the board?
Yeah, sure.
Come on up, ladies.
Ladies do a great job down there.
Thank you.
We
And I'm
try.
always
It's a
seeing them bringing donuts and all kinds of stuff. You guys are
It's a
busy.
team effort. They are inundated with food. Oh, over there?
Yeah, come on up.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, food isn't bribes, because I think otherwise they would be bringing in money. We did.
Sorry, Max.
Yeah, Brandon used to be in one.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Sideways.
Yeah.
Do a side
Yep. You ready? Okay, got a few.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
very much for all your hard work. We appreciate
If
you.
you have that form, I will.
I was gonna say-
Lot today, so I'm assuming they're gonna sign it. and-
Well, it's on our agenda for today, I believe. The form to sign is like for.
So we need Jill to sign it first?
Okay.
Yeah, everybody gets signed and then it'll come back to us. So
Okay.
now that everybody's in agreement.
We're all in agreement, I take
Send
it?
it to DocuSign.
Yes.
Are we all in agreement with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
We'll send it to now.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you, ladies, for coming in.
You guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
We're back to work on it.
All right.
We need to share another. So that way you're.
Call if you have any left. Oh, we like those.
Okay. This is to Jackie.
Miss Jackie, you're up already.
We're ahead of the game.
We're rolling.
Morning.
Good morning. Hi, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
You guys match.
I'm trying to will this on in some of the summer before it's over. Because I feel like we're a month in and we've not gotten very much.
I don't believe you.
Huh? You don't believe me?
What are you doing today?
Today I'm here with you, of
And by the
course.
rain.
Well, I know. I'm not happy about the rain.
I'm done with you. Go
Okay,
ahead.
bye.
I felt like, yeah, they call me a rain cloud, and then I actually bring the rain.
And you brought the rain with you. Tuesday will be nice. So we are I'm here to talk about the 3 loans that were made to the Portage Housing projects. Those homes, the construction loans, we needed the money obviously to build the homes, and the commissioners were involved in all 3 projects. There are 4 communities total that are involved in 1, 2, 3. The city of Ravenna and the county were both involved in all 3. SedCorp isn't, yeah, that's us, yeah, SedCorp, if you see.
PadCorp, SedCorp.
It was PadCorp and SedCorp, and they were separate nonprofits. SedCorp
Okay.
was more of the developer side. And then SedCorp has been eliminated, and then PadCorp was renamed to Neighborhood Development Services. And that's mostly because we started as Ravenna Development Corporation, branched out into Portage County, and then branched out even farther. So that's, the name change happened over the years to get us there. And then the city of Kent was involved in Portage Housing 2, and Ravenna Township was in Portage Housing 2 and 3. What we have discovered, when these loans were set up, it was because it was part of a tax credit program where there were equity investors. And the debt was set up on a market rate that compounded twice a year. So the interest keeps compounding and turning it into a larger principal amount, which then, of course, 6 months later compounds more interest. And even though we've been selling the homes, the way that the money goes back to, and these are all revolving loan funds. These are not part of general funds. These are all the revolving loan funds that we administer, where the funds go back to. So as we've been selling the homes, we've been paying the prorated per house cost for these releases. But what we've discovered is over the past couple months, the last time it accumulated again, these numbers, as far as the must pay to make it the prorated amount that we owe each community, has now gone up to where we've told the tenants that are purchasing, you need to get a pre-approval for a $60,000 loan, but now the must pay is closer to $75,000. That, in my opinion, is not a fair thing to do to these residents that are working on building credit or whatever they need to do to get their pre-approval. We told them one thing, and now, hey, guess what? We fooled you. We're going to keep it going, and some of them won't be able to afford that. And the goal is always to take these 85 tenants and make them homeowners.
Because they're like lease to own.
Yes, they're
Correct.
15-year lease purchases. After they were placed in service from their compliance period with the tax credits, that's what allowed us to start selling the homes. To date, we've sold 34 of the 85. We have 3 more that are going to be closing in July, so we'll be up to 37. Not quite half, but we're definitely moving them forward. We also, I make sure that everybody knows that if they can't buy, if they choose not to buy, we're not evicting. We're keeping the property as a affordable rental property, single-family home property, until the last person chooses to buy or moves. Obviously, they still have to follow house rules. They still have to pay their rent. They still have to follow the rules of the partnership, but for the most part.
That keeps that compounding though.
Yes,
because
but the
you
interest
have
will keep compounding because until we sell the last house, we still have debt out there, which is why we're here today. We are trying to come up with a solution, and we want it to be consistent with all 4 communities, on how to cap this so that it doesn't continue to compound and we don't end up with a house at the very end and still owing $500,000, $600,000, because obviously that won't be affordable. So the solution that we came up with as we were going through the numbers and stuff is to take what we owe each community today and to rewrite those promissory notes at 0%. So that stops the compounding. That gets us to where we need to be so that we're not continuing to add to this debt that really isn't going to go anywhere at the end of the day. And then for Portage 1, because the first mortgage is gone and there's no additional, it was a smaller subordinate debt, we can continue to pay you every house. The breakdown of
19,000.
Yeah, 19,000, and that will get us to 0 at the end. So if we sell the remaining 16 houses, there will be nothing to write off. Portage 2 and Portage 3 have a small amount to write off. and I say small in comparison to what is going to come out, what you will be paid. Portage 2 will have 37,545.25, and then Portage 3 is 45,688.76. But the one thing to look at would be the total paid after the last house is sold,
Yeah.
because that is what comes back. So on Portage 1, the original loan amount was 110, and as we continue to pay on these homes, you'll end up with 465,972. And then for Portage 2, the original loan was 100,000, and you'll have been paid 237,564. And then Portage 3 was another 100,000, and you'll be paid 228,970. The other thing to kind of keep in mind as we're talking about this, the original loan principal for all three was 310,000, and to date you have been paid 336,549. Now, it's not project by project that you've made back your principal, but you've made back that initial investment if
And
you
then
combine
some.
the three projects, and then some.
That's why I ask you, what rate are we
And I have,
compounding at?
right, it was a market rate at the time, and I believe it was around 6%, but the way it compounds, because it's not a standard traditional amortization, it's compounding very different and bringing the numbers up quite quickly,
It's not amortized.
so.
So are any of your other projects structured like this? So you made the comment that these were structured in this.
So we do a couple different kinds of tax credit projects. We do, we've done the single family ones, and then we have apartment complexes, and some of those are new construction, some of those are, we buy them and rehab them. We do have some community loans in, I thought we did maybe in Prospect House. I can't remember if it was just the city of Ravenna for construction, but they're not structured this way to be paid back because we aren't selling the apartment complexes. The single families, we built 80 units up in Ashtabula, and those didn't need the additional financing, so we don't have any of the community subordinate debt on those homes up there. That would be the comparable to what this is, but we just, for construction costs up there, we didn't need.
Okay, so in general, these are kind of a special.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, these
special
are very unique, very
group
special.
That
And-
we take the loan and we basically treat it like as a return on investment, and we don't amortize the loan with the interest and the principal.
Right.
So these are the only select few that you
Yes.
have
Yes.
that we are partnering
Yeah, we
with.
won't be, unless something changes and we decide to construct more single-family homes, which I've heard nothing about. And that would be a whole new loan that we would present and request. But these are the only three that are like this that we would make this specific request for.
And these are quite a bit old now.
Yes,
Because I remember these
Portage
back in the early
1
2000s.
Portage 1 was built in, I think 98, 99.
Yeah.
And then 2 was 2002, and Portage 3 followed immediately behind 2003, 2004.
So that was my other question. These projects were started, so these loans are basically like, in the 20, 25 year.
Right. Yeah, because we received the loan at start of construction. So.
And I do have some specific questions. We can get together
Okay.
afterwards. I won't bore everybody with my
I'm happy
my
to-
math questions, but I was having a little. I couldn't follow. I followed the phase 1. Phase 2 for the per house remaining, but I think I understand now. For phase 2, the per house remaining probably has already been adjusted by assuming that
The write-off,
forgiveness
yes.
is
The
write-off.
Yes.
granted. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
couldn't
that's
tie
ju-
into that number.
Yeah,
and
that's
so-
just to show you what we would be moving forward presenting as far as each home.
If we approve the
If-
write-off.
yes.
Right, if we would approve.
And it's not
that.
just us, it's all
No,
the other
we are
entities
asking this
as well.
specific request across the board to all 4.
So if all 4 do not agree, what's your course of action?
Go
with-
back to the drawing board and try to
Okay.
figure something out.
Okay, and do you need 100% buy-in from all communities?
We
What's your-
would like it. I don't think we're gonna, if 3 say yes and 1 says no, I don't think we're gonna walk away from that. But we do want to try to remain as consistent as possible, just because that feels like the appropriate thing to do with the community side of it.
Sure.
So have you talked to the other communities like Ravenna, Kent, and the township? Because I'm sure NDS and if we're on board. So have you talked to the other communities?
We have talked to the city of Kent, and they appear to be on board. We haven't moved forward with any kind of legislation or anything, but their community development group that handles their administration of the revolving loan funds are on board. We actually go to Ravenna Committee on July 13th. So we'll see kind of where they stand. And we've started the discussion with Ravenna Township. I do believe there's going to be some more negotiation. One of their big questions too was, what's everybody else say? So I don't know quite where they're gonna land, but I do know that we'll probably end up going, I was just there Tuesday night, and I'll probably go back in 2 weeks, or maybe even wait till after we meet with the city.
Because I mean, the rate on return on
Right.
this is
Right.
huge. They've
Right.
already got their principal back.
And that's the other thing, is all the communities have received all of their principal back
Right.
to date. And, I
Creative
mean,
financing. this is
yes,
called.
that is exactly what it's called.
Good?
Yeah, well, I'll get with Jen afterwards, I'll contact you. I just
Perfect.
wanna go over the spreadsheet to make sure I understand exactly, and then
Okay.
answer any other questions.
Sounds good to me.
Sure,
Yeah,
you
I'm
got-
good. I already talked to Jen this
And
morning.
just so you're aware, there are 2 releases that are on the
Yes,
agenda.
yeah.
Those are moving forward as is, because
Okay.
obviously without the approval, we don't want to change anything, so,
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jen.
Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
So I have one other discussion item. This is about the prosecutor's budget for the current year, for 2026. So a few weeks ago, the prosecutor requested to meet with me to go over her budget, and in the non-personnel lines, currently, they're pretty much spent. They're down to almost zero in those lines. And there are certain expenses that they know they have upcoming, or actual current expenses, that are critical, that, you know, they need to go forward with. So, in particular, they have some notices that have to go out to victims, and they don't have the supplies to do that. And they also have some expert witnesses that are coming up that they will have to pay for. So I don't think they know those expenses yet, but the discussion was, you know, where to get that budget.
I have a question on the next one, the IT expense. Was that in the budget?
No, that was not in the current budget.
It's coming from Maduri's salary?
I don't think he has one.
Poor Chris.
You've been working free, haven't you?
No, I'm like, that's a pretty big expense not to have had included.
And that is coming up toward the end of the year, that program will be at end of life. I did talk to Cameron, he's working on it as far as researching the program, so I asked him, do you know these programs? Because the one is less expensive, but will it be, you know, functioning the way they need it to? Just because it's less expensive doesn't necessarily
Because
mean
it looks
it's.
like the startup's the same for either one, but it's the annual fee. There's like $14,000 difference annually.
And I did get corrected from the prosecutor, the Pine Tech, I think it's called.
Mhm.
That one does not have a startup fee either, so it's significantly less money, but we also want IT to review it and make sure it's what they'll need. But that's something that's forthcoming at the end of the year, and we can kind of, I guess, address that at that point. It also will have to go past the data processing board and.
I hope Mike
and
still
all.
has his money tree.
Yeah, we'll grab a few for you, Chris.
So,
Circling back to the supplies and those lines, you know, I think at one point there was a discussion that we could maybe advance some of the BOC and BAWA funds. Is that something that we could think about doing there for, you know, supplementing, advancing those funds that we would have to advance anyway, in the upcoming months? And then just reduce those funds accordingly?
yeah, that's kind of the only thing I was thinking we could do, because, you know, right now we know as far as unappropriated, undesignated funding, there's really nothing available. So in order to supplement one area, we have to take from another.
Right.
But in Commissioner Other, we do have 2 set-asides, one for VOCA and one for VAWA, that we transfer to those other funds. Those are estimates, and when I looked with Lori from the prosecutor's office at what they actually need in VOCA and VAWA, it's a little short, like what they'll actually need is a little short from what we budgeted. When I say a little bit, it's like $15,000, that we could, so there's some availability in Commissioner Other that we could put into the prosecutor's budget if we needed to, but my recommendation would be to do it one expense at a time,
Yeah.
just to make sure,
Yeah.
because it's that 15,000 is not that much,
No.
to get them through the rest of the year.
And that was gonna be my question. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it is right now. The extra time and effort to do it just one bill at a time, I mean, it's a better way to control the destiny if, if we don't need to put them, if they don't need it, then they've got the money.
Mhm.
So you're comfortable with doing it individually, one invoice at a time?
I think so, just because we also don't know, as far as the expert witness fees and things like that, we don't know what
I
that's
have no
gonna be
idea.
yet. So I would say, when they get a quote or they know what it's gonna be, then we can do a budget amendment, move the money, and then they can pay those bills, as they go, but we also need to keep close track, and I can work with Lori to do that as far as
Yeah.
what they will need for VOCA and VAWA, just to make sure we've got everything covered and we're not
Yes.
shorting anything. I mean, the local match is not that much for VOCA and VAWA, but we give above and beyond that because the programs, are,
Tend to
the state
utilize.
doesn't support significantly anymore for those programs, so we have to fund that. But it's just a lot, it's gonna be moving stuff around a lot this year.
Well, I don't wanna say that crime is up in the county, however, when they're doing their investigations and the prosecutor is bringing in forensics and different people, we never know what the money's gonna be, or how much it's gonna cost, or how long they're gonna be here.
Right.
Yeah, cause they're
I don't
still
know how you-
working on the Trumple case.
I don't
Yeah,
know
some
how
of
you
the
can-
cases are old too,
Yeah,
but they're
I don't
trying
know
to
how you
bring
can
justice
budget
to old
that.
cases.
You
It's
can't.
just- It's just a non-budget, so, all right, I'm good.
Okay, so we'll work on it that way, we'll do it one expense at a time and
Okay.
do the budget amendments.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good plan, thank you, Jen.
all right.
Yep.
Okay, thank
So
you.
that's all I have unless the board has any questions.
No, I don't.
No.
All right, roll on.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to sign the partial release of mortgage for property at 5541 Freedom Street, Urbana, Ohio, 44266, Portage County Records Number 201515521, as part of the Portage Housing 1 project. Documents presented by Neighborhood Development Services and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Finance, with no exceptions noted.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call,
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to sign the partial release of mortgage for property at 523 Harris, Kent, Ohio, 44240. Portage County Records Number 200217188, as part of the Portage Housing 2 project. Documents presented by Neighborhood Development Services and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Finance, with no exceptions noted.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call,
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to delay the cash advance repayment from Fund 1133, Power, to Fund 0001, General Fund, until fiscal year 2027, and that the Director of Power position will be relocated under the Portage County Common Pleas Court and funded from Fund 1502 opioid settlement.
Do we know how long it'll take for her to move that under? I know we are, holding off on the advance, the repayment of the advance. Because the power program runs until the end of the year, so are we hoping that she has that program under her by the first? Because that's when they would actually probably need the funding.
So you mean the first of next year? Yeah, so it'll happen this year. The grant, we're not exactly sure when the funding for the grant is gonna be done, but it will be this year, probably very soon.
Yeah,
And so at that
I think I
point-
asked, it was like, it goes till December, I think they have to finish it. Because it was really only a 2-year grant, and they stretched it out
So
to
it-
3.
currently, the grant is ending, but they're tying up the loose ends with the funding. So, but it should be shortly that the funding is done and the grant is over, and then at that point, we'll move.
I'm just
the-
wondering if there's like a specialized docket for this, but there's no like court hearings, or this is just a program, I mean, that she's gonna try, or gonna utilize that was originally under the power. I was just curious if we've gotten any details on how that will work.
I believe they'll transfer the position under the court, and the funding will be coming from elsewhere, so I think it'll just be
I
like
mean, I
a
guess it
payroll
could be
change.
specialized docket to some degree, because it's all the folks that come through that are in her program, in her court normally. So, okay, now.
We can reach out and get confirmation on that if you
Yeah,
like.
yeah, or I'll talk to Judge, it's no big deal. I just was curious if she had started the ball rolling with that yet. Okay.
Can I have a second, please?
You will have a second.
Roll call.
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes?
Mike?
Yes.
In accordance with section 305.30K of the Ohio Revised Code and this board's resolution 21-0396 and this board's resolution 21-0878, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval to. I will make a motion to direct the auditor's office to process the June 18th, 2026 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, and then and nows as applicable, contingent upon the verification of the reports as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call.
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Make a motion to process the June 18th, 2026 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
I do have a question on this, Jackie. Under the juvenile court IT employee fund, down there under the memo, because you need funds for salaries, it says abolish fund? What?
Yeah,
can you
so this
explain that?
is, remember, juvenile court and probate court stopped their fees for their IT employee.
Okay.
So this is just closing out those funds, so the probate court fund is gonna be next month, I believe, cause they're still tying up, like, they have some revenues that they're closing out.
Because I thought they moved, I think it's Jordan into, because he was the
General
juvenile.
fu- yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's general fund.
I think he's general IT now for both.
Yeah, these funds were contributing toward, they would contribute toward the one employee
His
under
salary.
county employees, I
Okay.
believe. So this is the goal is closing out the fund, so we're transferring the money
Do
out.
we know why they chose to close the fund out? Because now it's gonna come to the general fund.
I believe the idea was they weren't gonna utilize that employee anymore, so it was the Jim Walsh position. So I think the idea was they weren't gonna use that employee anymore, so they
Okay,
were not
well, the
gonna
reason I ask
collect the
is because
fees.
Jordan, Jones was the IT person for juvenile court. Jim, I think, did probation, I thought, or maybe they took it out of both, but they
I
had already
believe he
had
contributed
someone.
partially to their courts, so they
Oh.
contributed partially, for that, but I
Okay.
think Jordan's always been general fund.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call.
Jill? Yes. Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay, resolutions. I'll make a motion to amend resolution 26-0266 to revise the grant award amount for the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services 2026 Ohio Violent Crime Reduction Grant on behalf of the Portage County Sheriff's Office Drug and Violent Crime Unit, grant number 2026-VC-LTF-6909.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call.
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to create Fund 4275, 2026 Small Bridge Replacement for the Portage County Engineers Office.
Okay, I will second.
Call the roll, please.
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks,
Thank
Jen.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're the best.
Are we waiting for Rob?
I don't
Rob
know.
out there?
Hey, Rob.
Hello, Miss Barb.
Come on
Hi.
in.
How are you, dear?
today?
Good. Good.
You don't seem as bright and cheery as usual.
A lot of things going.
I'm sorry to hear that.
A lot of things.
Hi, Rob.
Hello. All right, the airport.
Good morning,
Who
good
wants to
morning.
chat?
I do.
Step on up, sir.
Okay. I think everybody knows me here. Hi, Joe.
Morning.
I'd like to start out with a brief little history. So, I don't know, 15, 18 years ago, when Metro came to the airport, Smiles, Kuiper, Frederick were the commissioners. Everybody put a feather in their hat because we got life flight at the airport. Everybody was happy with that. Provided a great service to the community. I had an opportunity to ride in it one time. It saved my life. So I have a personal connection to these people. And want to try to keep them there, and that's what this is about. So we signed an FBO lease with the original Metro, then I think going back 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I don't recall. UH came, we signed a lease with them. It was very helpful to the financial support of the FBO at the airport. It was $6,000 a month. It helped me keep my head above water, and I don't think it's any different today now that the county's running the airport. It's not a big profit center that I'm aware of anyway. So anyway, in that lease, there was no specific time that UH had to have the helicopter into the hangar. We rented them a smaller hangar beside the main hangar to keep a couple ambulances in, because in my opinion, this is ancillary to the helicopter. I mean, the same crew gets out of the helicopter and they'll jump in an ambulance if the weather's bad, or they'll bring, in my case, an ambulance brought me to the airport. So anyway, that was done. Now, recently, Robert told me that the rules changed and we had to ask him to leave because they were in danger of jeopardizing our grants for the airport. So I guess the commissioners, or one of the commissioners, I don't know which, terminated their lease, or Robert did, I don't know who did, and asked him to basically leave the airport. So I'm trying to keep him there. I called Sabrina several months ago, made her a verbal proposal that if the county would give me or lease me a piece of land, I would build a hangar for Life Flight on the airport and give it back to you people in a certain number of years, give it back to the county. I never got a response from anybody on that. And I brought it up again the other day with a meeting with Robert, and Robert said he knew nothing about it. So I guess my concern is that the helicopter, well, Robert told me the rules changed, for one thing. And I just don't understand how Jaga can build a building and have an ambulance in there for the helicopter. Ashtabula does it, and many other counties do it, and Portage County can't do it. We can't get this done. So the $50 question is, do you people want them here? Do you want them in the community? And I'd like you to go on the record and state your position, because all this waffling is not helping anybody.
Well, I'm gonna go first.
Good.
Those that know me, I have 30-plus years in fire service and EMS service and law enforcement. A lot of years I spent in the back of an ambulance. Saved lives, lost lives, and brought lives into this county. Actually, I worked kind of in the back with Mr. Ellen Parker. And those were the days we were a lot younger and we could actually walk straight. But having that said, my goal has always been to keep a copter out at the airport. Simply because, yeah, we have a landing pad at UH, no problem at all. But when you're in a car and you know at a fire scene of a crash, and I've been there many times, when I walked up to the car and I realized that we had at least a 30-minute extrication of cutting that person out, we called right away for a bird, right away. Get us a helicopter out here. because that time that's gonna be wasted on the ground is being made up by the helicopter. And we did that a lot. And during my bid for commissioner, that was a big conversation that I had with a lot of the fire chiefs. What are we doing about a helicopter? And you get out into some of these rural areas, they're either going to Akron or they're going to here at UH. And I would say 90 to 95% are going right here at UH. And you don't want to fly somebody to Toledo when their family's here in Portage County. So there's a big factor in all of this, and I think that the factor is, at this point in time, that we need to step up, figure out what we're gonna do, and if we as the county commissioners are not gonna approve to have the copter out there, I wanna know why as well. And that's my opinion. It's always been my opinion. I haven't wavered from what I wanted and how I wanted. Have I sat back and watched? Yes, I have. No question. But we're at that time in the county where people are getting older, things are happening, a lot of crashes, a lot of horrible. And when we have crashes, we have interstates, we have the Isle Turnpike. When we have a crash, we have a grinder. And it's much easier to call and know that that copter is coming. And I wouldn't want to even think of a percentage that that copter's on another call because they bring one in from somewhere else. And as I indicated, the time frame, I don't know what Mr. Ellenberger utilizes for a time frame, but that's what we used.
Well, we know that they want to be at Portage. There's been reasons why they haven't been so far. And I want to keep them there, so my question goes back again.
Okay.
I asked Robert for a proposal on the land lease. He works for you people. So if we're gonna do it, let's get it done.
Well,
Let's take a
he's
vote
here.
or whatever.
He's here, and if we had to vote for the copter, I'm in whatever we have to do. And I've made that clear, and I'll make it very clear right now.
That's what we're looking for, some answers.
Anyone else? Jill?
I'm definitely for it being here. I just want to make sure that it is meeting all the stipulations. And that's where I look to our director, Robert, for his guidance, because he is the one who understands all the rules and regulations, which are very many with the FAA. I will be quite honest and I say I don't understand all those. So I look to his expertise. So, I know that there's questions regarding land changes from aeronautical, thank you, aeronautical.
Spell it.
No, I'm not spelling it at all, to the non-aeronautical. I think we've gone down that route and looked at that. So I think, we're listening to the facts here, so we're all hearing the same facts. And, we can take these facts and say, is it something that's possible? And, if that's the case and it's possible, we can still meet the regulations because we have several FAA grants. And we don't want to jeopardize that funding because to pay that back would be astronomical.
I'd just like to see the documentation of where you were turned down or the rule changes or how other counties that are adjacent to us can do this and we can't. That's what puzzles me. Okay, so is there any documentation that you can provide to me that the FAA has written us that says you can't do this, even though it is ancillary to the helicopter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Rob has a lot of that information, which, we can work on getting you.
Rob, did you want to comment? Because I think we all agree we want the helicopter there, but the problem is it's not based there, and that's what's causing our problem with the FAA, and maybe Rob can speak to that.
It's always been a compliance issue. Commissioner Tidlin, during all of '25, was asking where the helicopter was because we had a compliance issue that I brought to him. We pressed and pressed. There was a meeting in August of '25 because the folks from UH said the helicopter wouldn't fit in our hangar. And that was the reason why they couldn't bring the helicopter. So the helicopter shows up, we fit it in the hangar, and the next thing is basically the question of when does the helicopter operation start? And it was next month, next month, next month. The rules have changed when it comes to aeronautical and non-aeronautical. There's no longer the concurrent land use option out there. We actually have to go forward and ask for a release for that land from aeronautical to non-aeronautical or mixed use. So there is another entity, another agency that's not here right now that has a voice in how we actually do our business, and that's the FAA. I have asked. I've got the emails. I've had the in-person conversations. I have not put forward a formal request because I haven't had a formal proposal on what we need to request. The FAA is not going to give me a blanket release. They're going to want to know exactly what we are releasing on our airport. The UH operation, the helicopter operations, medevac operations are not in our master plan. We'll have to update our master plan.
Rob, they've been there 20 years.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bonner, but they're not in the master plan, and that's what the FAA looks at.
Okay.
And that master plan was just
Just
revised
updated.
right before we took it over.
Yes, ma'am.
And that lease would have been started right after.
Right.
Well,
So
at
that-
least started
so-
before you took it over.
Well,
Susan.
no, I'm talking about the master plan though.
And it wasn't
Why
in-
it wouldn't have been
I
included.
cannot answer that question because I wasn't
Because you weren't
here.
here, it was ran by the airport
Right.
authority.
So
Okay.
given that the operations were not there, or the business concept is not in our master plan. That goes to our capital improvement program with the FAA. And that's what the Airports District Office in Detroit is basing their budget request to the Congress for the next 5 years on. They're using our master plan to build what their request is likely going to be. And without it in there, we have to actually go and do what they're gonna call a pen and ink change to the master plan. And that's gonna take some time. It's gonna take time and money to do that.
Well, wait a minute. So let me understand this because I don't have an aeronautical degree, but the helicopter's been on the field for 20 years, okay? Pushing 20 years. They've been on the field doing business. And now you're telling me that they have to leave because they're not in the master plan.
That's
And
not-
I'd sure like to see the documentation from the FAA in writing that says exactly that, Rob. That you've asked for an exception, it can't be granted because the master plan hasn't been updated. Please.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
No, I'm not
Mr.
arguing.
Bonner. What I'm
They've
gonna-
been there
what
20
I'm-
years.
What I'm gonna tell you is they've been there for 20 years, it's not in the master plan.
Okay.
So that's what is official to the FAA. I can't help that, so we have to change that.
How often is that master plan redone, Rob?
This last master plan, this was a master plan update, so it was at the 10-year mark. It's a 20-year plan. So we just did a 10-year master plan update. We're looking at we're coming up on another one because that was originally started in 2016. And it took them until 2023 to actually finish it. So from that standpoint, we're due for a total master plan.
Okay, so the last one that was done was by the,
Airport
Airport
authority.
Authority with CHA as the consultant on that one.
Yeah.
And this has always been a compliance issue. There's
Well-
the issue,
Go ahead.
this has always been a compliance issue because you have implored me to increase our grant opportunities. If we want more grant money, we have to play by the FAA's rules. If you don't want to take grant money, you can run the airport however you want. You can do whatever you want, you can mix up your land however you want. But the FAA grant assurances, or what you guys signed off on, saying that in order to get the money, to get 100% funding, 95% funding of these capital programs, that we need to increase the potential of the airport, you have to buy off on the grant assurances, and those grant assurances are that you will not have mixed use unless it's been approved.
Why is it mixed use if it's ancillary to the helicopter?
Because
And a
Mr.
helicopter is aeronautical, Rob.
It's not ancillary, because Mr. Ellenberger has told me that the ground ambulances are separate from the helicopter.
Well, it's the same crew that runs them. Is that true, Dan?
We have, the crews are the air crew or the specialty care crew. All right, they're both. All right, that's why there's 2 ambulances there. Our model, and we'll use Jefferson or we'll use Middlefield. If they can't fly, and that's 100 and some days a year that we can't fly, the crews get into a ground ambulance. If we will land at the airport and actually transfer the patient from Portage Medical Center to, we'll shuttle the crew back and forth up Portage when we need to do that. AirMed is helicopters, ground critical care units, and specialty care units. We have a critical care, specialty care unit at Portage. So it's all one. It's all under the umbrella of University Hospitals Critical Care Transport LLC.
What I have trouble with, Rob, is I'm not saying that those aren't the FAA regs, but the FAA are human, just like everybody sitting in this room. And I cannot believe that you can't go in front of them and get an exception to do this. I just can't believe that those people are that unreasonable that we're gonna wait 6 months or a year to update a master plan to save lives and be part of our community. I just can't believe that the FAA
Mr. Bonner,
is that hung up.
Mr. Bonner, if this was truly an issue of saving lives, that helicopter would have already been at the airport. This is
circles on a map, Rob, and
I'm not dealing with circles on the map.
We're talking about the FAA now.
And
Again,
this is a compliance issue. We've gone through the compliance. We've terminated a lease that was there. You can make a proposal, and we will go forward and get it approved if the FAA will approve it. I cannot guarantee that the FAA will approve it, just like I can't guarantee that.
Have you tried?
Yes, I have.
Okay, please provide us the documentation.
You can make a public records request, just like anybody else, and I will get you the public record.
Rob, I have a question. So even without the lease with UH, they can still land there, they can still operate, it's just, it's not housed there, correct?
That's correct.
And because it's not housed there, it doesn't have an aeronautical ancillary, as we call it.
Correct.
The ambulance is not aeronautical, and it's not ancillary, because it's not housed there.
That's
Unlike
correct.
MedVac was housed there.
That's
Is
correct.
that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted the public to know, it's not that they can't
Well,
still utilize
that doesn't make any
it.
sense, Sabrina. They can house it there tomorrow, and then it's legal? All along, you people have been saying you can't have the ambulance there, that's the problem. You gotta move it somewhere else, move it to Portage County Hospital. That's what was said, because the helicopter's not there. So if the helicopter comes back in, then it's okay, is that what you're saying?
We would have to go through.
We would have to do a mixed use.
And just get it
Yes.
approved through the FAA. It's just a process, Dick.
Well, I know that,
I
but
offered-
this process is, we're 5 months into a process, and nobody sitting behind that desk has done anything.
And.
Again, show me the documentation where you've tried.
Can you please speak to as why that helicopter is not housed there? Could you maybe give us some light on that?
We had a slow start. We had to put Jefferson in, and that, you and I had that conversation, Sabrina.
Yeah.
It's not just as easy as say, we're gonna move one, and we had to build and complete the base, which is completed in Jefferson. And as Dick said, circles. So in order to cover the community that we have when we put the new helicopter in, finishing Jefferson and then moving from Middlefield to Portage Medical Center. Last month, we were able to start to do that. The thing, so questions, if I can just do a whole bunch of things in a
Yeah.
row here. One, if we remove the ambulances right now, and we had the helicopter move into the hangar, would that suffice with the non-mixed use? Would we be able to do that?
Remove the ground ambulances from the T hangar, which is an aeronautical use, with a non-aeronautical tenant in it, yes. Bringing the helicopter to Portage, yes, you could do that.
Okay.
But at this point, you'll have to sign a new lease because your lease has been terminated.
So my question to the commissioners would be, can we continue the lease that we have? It was terminated, can we re-invoke that? Because the true intent would be the mixed-use hangar, where in Portage County, they're doing maintenance they're doing airplane maintenance, and we have a hangar there in mixed use. And on the table is to build another hangar that is solely for AirMed, where we also would put ground ambulances that would be housed there, identical to the operation that we have at Jefferson. Could we do that? So we can remove the ground ambulances. They're still gonna come in and out because they're gonna have to change crews and things like that, but they will not be housed there, okay?
That was the original compromise that was offered back in October, and we were told that wouldn't work.
And I'm trying to.
You did not want to compromise back then, and you forced us into this situation where we actually had to make a decision. And that's where we're at today. So my take on it is I have other businesses that are interested in the facility, and I've moved on with making sure that my business, my enterprise fund, will actually pay for itself. So at this point, I would be reluctant to accept changing what we're doing right now. I would entertain a proposal for a new hangar and that sort, but at this point, we're trying to put toothpaste back in a tube.
Let me ask this question.
Is that the commissioner's position too?
Not mine, and that was gonna be my point. The lease termination hasn't taken place yet, correct?
They were notified of lease termination back in January.
I understand when they were notified. I asked when it takes place.
When does it take effect? Is it
Ju-
July?
July 22nd.
Correct, so, Mr. Prosecutor, would it be favorable on our part if we're able to reinstate with verbiage of a helicopter only at the airport? Could we do that?
No, I think we have to.
Let me ask
review
the
it.
prosecutor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see that lease. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because, it was a lease and we terminated it, you said January?
January 22nd.
Okay. And that would be my stance on this, was to see if we can do away with that. I mean, the funding that's coming in for that monthly, is that going to be what is normally gonna come in with something different? Is it
I
gonna
don't
be
think that would
less?
come in, would it? Because that's for the ambulance housing and for
Well, I think you
athletics
should
and
probably
stuff.
ask them that. I mean,
Is that not,
It was for both. It was for the ambulances and the hangar.
in the hangars, you
Yeah.
said? But I
Well,
was,
the rent on the hangars is, I don't know what you guys were charging. We were around $1,200 a month or something
Yeah.
for those hangars, I thought. Is that right, Ron?
It wasn't broken down
The
by,
FBO, I mean, what do you normally rent those T hangars for?
the T hangars rent for $500 roughly.
Okay, so,
but I don't
Out
think
of
we can
6,000.
resurrect the old lease because it has the ambulances in it. You
Correct.
have to create a new
A new
lease.
lease, I agree with
Yeah.
that.
So would it be fair to say, I'm sorry,
Yeah. We can just go-
well, we could debate this all day. I think, what's our next move? So our next move is, would it be fair to request that you give us something in writing as to what your plan is? And then I can put it all together for the board. I can speak with each of them individually and have an idea of where we stand, and then invite you back in. Because that is the process. We have to have this conversation in public meeting, okay? So, because the taxpayers, wanna know what's going on
Because
with
the
our airport.
sunshine laws, we can't talk
So
outside.
that's our
here.
first step. And I'm happy to recap all of that for both of you. If you could just send me what exactly is your next plan? Because I'm hearing a little bit
I
that
think he
maybe-
can tell you right now what his plan is.
Well, I need it in writing.
Well, that's, okay.
Because things change, opinions change, understandings, get it in writing, send me what your exact plan is. Also, am I hearing that potentially you would be willing to build a hangar? I think give us both plans. Do you wanna go back to where you were, new lease, or do you want to go with Mr. Bonner and use his new hangar potentially? And then that would be a whole different situation.
I would.
But I do need to know what exact situations we have. And that way, our board would be well prepped to have a better discussion.
I think what,
et cetera,
if
et cetera.
I may say this, we'll give you something in writing. What they would like to do is, number one, I'd like to keep them in the community, and we need them at the airport. If they can't be in the hangar they're in, then we build another one on the airport facility, which is what I asked Sabrina about several months ago. And what they would like to do is move the helicopter back in there, okay, without the ambulances. And then when I get the new building done, then move across the street, if that's where the parcel winds up being, and it'd be in a new building. So it'd be a temporary thing until we could get the building done. But it's not sounding very favorable if we gotta write a master plan, which usually takes months or years to get done.
It would have to be added.
It would be a change
it.
to a master plan.
Yeah, it'd
It's
be a
not whole new
change.
master plan.
Yeah.
And my understanding, and speaking with each of you individually, is that all of you are for the helicopter being here. We just need to get a plan together, written plan together, broken out of exactly what is the plan. And then we can move forward on that. But we also need to be able, once we have everything in writing, adjust the master plan. Well, we
If
can't
we're in
adjust the
agreement,
master
yeah.
plan on hearsay or, no one commissioner can
Hypotheticals.
really move forward without having another commissioner with them. That's kind of where we're at right now. And we'd be much more organized if we could do that. I'm happy to recap it for you if you want to send me your two separate plans or the temporary usage, et cetera.
Sound reasonable?
Sure.
And I think, quite frankly, we're in that governmental bureaucracy state where we've gotta stay on top of this. We put things aside and we don't move forward and things don't get done. And I truly think that this is one of many top priorities that we have to work on.
So, Mr. Ellenberger, do you want to recap? You just want to have a new lease for the helicopter, correct, at this point in time? We're removing the ambulance component, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And, you know, I think it's an unfair statement that there's not really for compromise. We have an operation
Yeah.
to do, all right? We'll figure out what to do with the ambulances temporarily. The goal is that they all need to come back together into a hangar that Mr. Bonner is going to build, that we can work out of all of our operations.
That would be the end goal.
That's the end goal, right. The temporary, the mid goal is that about on the 15th of July, we need to move all of our IT equipment out there. When we start taking the IT equipment out, then we're just further behind. And then we're spinning our wheels, wasting money. So we're really trying to come to some compromises that will work for public safety of the community, that will work for the airport, that'll work for the commissioners, and it will work for university hospitals. And at the end goal, it's about how do we move the patients. I don't think that a fair statement is if it was life-threatening and it was that important that it would already be here. There's a lot of other pieces, including some of the pieces, Robert, that our mechanic and lead pilot talked to you about.
So, Mr. Ellenberger,
You're
if this was
interrupting.
truly,
You're
if this
interrupting.
I will interrupt you because I'm gonna stop you, because if this truly was about this community, that helicopter would have been here when you signed a lease in '22, not going up to Jefferson to do an operation up there. So, that's where I'm at.
Thank you for your opinion, but you do not know the whole business operations, okay? And why we did in the series that we did. Just like when you build a runway and you put a taxiway in, there's reasons that you put all those dominoes, together. This has been a long business plan with a large health system, okay? So I appreciate your opinion, but it's probably not exactly how it fits into our bucket. All right?
But if you're gonna waive it about Portage County, you were here first, and you went to Jefferson next, and left Portage
Yeah, we
County.
were at,
You left
again.
Portage County as a whole in your network.
Middlefield was not Jefferson. So it isn't a big hole. Middlefield is the closest helicopter.
It was to add and then move, okay? So again, I appreciate your opinion, but it doesn't fit into how our operation was working. What works now is,
I think
we're
we just
ready to
need
make
to
the
move
move.
forward.
Okay.
I can handle this.
Yeah, I think we should just move forward
Right.
and see what solutions, if any, that we can come up with. And then, Mr. Bonner, I would like to address you.
Sure.
I would like to address the fact when you say, I knew about this and did nothing, that is an incorrect statement,
Well,
because I did
He
speak to
didn't know
Rob.
about it. He told me he didn't, so that's all I can tell you.
I didn't remember it the way it was presented to me.
Okay, because I did talk to Rob about it,
Okay.
and we were still trying to.
Nobody got back to me, just Sabrina, excuse
Well,
me.
because we were still trying to figure out how to keep you there, and so.
I was born at
Okay.
night, but not last night. You people have
Okay,
done
well,
nothing
you know
to
what?
keep them there. Nothing. Zero.
And what have they done to keep us there? To keep us there and keep us compliant was to have that helicopter base there. They chose to take that brand-new helicopter and base it somewhere else. So, just for the record.
I don't think they based it
So,
anywhere else.
I don't think pushing it back on us, and it's all our fault, because you did not stick to the contract, and that contract was you would house ambulances there
No, it
as an
didn't. It didn't say
ancillary.
that. The contract said nothing about housing the helicopter or a certain date. There was no certain date on that lease. I wrote it. Absolutely not. Am I right there?
We'll probably agree to disagree, but, okay.
No, I'll get you the lease. I still have a
I
copy
think
of
he
it.
still has it.
Okay,
Okay, well, thank you for coming in.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We
Appreciate
look
you.
forward to hearing back from you.
and let's stay
Yeah.
on top of this.
Okay.
Well, so are we interested in leasing a piece of land, or are we waiting for something else from me?
A proposal. of what
Well,
you
wait a
want,
minute,
of
you
how
have,
much you-
in your code of regulations, you have land lease documents that say this is how much we're gonna lease a piece of land for. Okay, so you want me to just show you a site plan? What do you want me to show you?
We just need to know how much land you need.
Well, that's,
Michelle, what would you like, because you're the one requesting it.
So what I would like is in writing exactly what it is that you would like to see done. That way there's no confusion, we're all prepared, and I'm happy to recap it for you. Here's my card,
thank you. I'll
and
give it to
we'll
you.
go from there.
Yeah,
And I'll also figure out how to put a public records request in to get the information on the exception, which I think is BS.
I can help you.
We're all sitting here in a community, and we're trying to do something good for the community, and somebody says, file a paper with the public records. Come on, Rob, give me a break.
Thank you guys very much.
All right, thanks.
Next.
Ms. Shannon,
Was it me?
yes,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to serve.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Rob.
I don't have very much.
It's
Trying to follow that.
Mine's little. Okay, I just have two small little project updates. You won't be here long. You're welcome. Sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. I told, we're getting there, getting stuff off. Okay, we had to send out an email this morning because they're going to postpone our FLAC because it's gonna rain this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so we just put out a little email for that. And then if you look at the next page, on page 3, the old boiler, they have started the demo on the electrical for the JDC, and they're ripping that out so that they're gonna start putting in the boilers.
Awesome.
So we're starting there. So we have some progress. Yes, and that's all I have for my little
Wow.
project update. See?
Look at you.
I know, I'm not as long as I was last week.
They still cost money though.
I know, sorry about that.
Yeah, so are you?
Not really.
Nothing I can do, right?
It's encumbered. And then I just have a couple resolutions, so I'm pretty short this week.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions for Shannon?
Do you have any
No.
questions? Okay.
Perfect. All right. Resolutions, I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an agreement for Certified Peer Recovery Supporter Program on behalf of the Portage County Job and Family Services and Access Family Services, Inc.
I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners authorizes the extension of contract time for project number NV-021-190, Village of Manaway wastewater treatment plant headworks and electrical improvements for the Village of Manaway Public Sewer System in Portage County, Ohio.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to amend resolution number 26-0170 regarding general sewer agreement for sanitary sewer improvements to villas at Boulder Creek, Portage County Water Resources Department, project number ST-426-020-P.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners approves the specifications and sets the request for proposal date for the Title 20 services for the Portage County Department of Job and Family Services.
I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Shannon.
Go do something.
All right.
Go do something good.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, make us proud.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
Do it.
Miscellaneous, any?
Nope.
Okay. I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges receipt of the June 18th, 2026 Certificate of County Auditor that the total appropriations from each fund do not exceed the amended official estimate of resources. It's presented by the Portage County Auditor's Office, received on June 18th, 2026.
I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges receipt of the June 19th, 2026 correspondence from Mark V. Gidetti from Law Offices McDermott and Associates Company, LPA, regarding a notice of proposed tax increment financing on behalf of Ravenna Township. Additional supporting documentation is available upon request.
I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Okay, resolutions, I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to reappoint William Nome to Portage County Mental Health and Recovery Board.
Okay, I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to appoint Bridget Stunts to the Portage County Mental Health and Recovery Board.
I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to reappoint Janice Simmons Mortimer to the Portage Area Regional Transportation Authority, PARTA, Board of Trustees, representing the northern section of Portage County.
I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to amend resolution number 25-0478, adopted on September 4th, 2025, appointment to serve on the Portage County Transportation Improvement District, TED, to replace Claudia Armand with Kelly Jursic.
Yes. I will second.
Roll call?
Jill,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Madam Crawford, do you have anything else for the board?
I do not at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Bennett,
I do not.
Administrator,
No, Mr. President, thank you.
Madam Clerk.
No, sir.
All right, I would like to recess until 11 a.m. for public comment.
All right, sounds good.
All right, welcome back from recess. Do we have any public comment?
No, sir. No
All right.
public comment today.
Do we have anything else come before the board?
I do not have anything.
All right.
I do not.
No, sir.
All right, one thing I can remember, Manaway Shalersville's recognizing their fire department on Saturday.
Yep, 125th.
125 years.
Wow.
And,
Wow. Yeah.
If you're out and about and you're there to stop by and say thanks to them,
Mhm.
it's 11 to 4, I think.
That sounds right.
Yeah, 11 to 4. They do have it posted on the Manaway
I have 11 to
Shalersville.
3.
Okay, 11 to 3, gotcha. And if you would just stop by, say thanks to the men and women that do a great job up that direction, as they all do throughout the county, we'd appreciate it.
And
All right.
also is the, since you brought
Yep.
that up, the Portage County Historical Society is having their 75th anniversary, and that is noon to 4,
There you go.
if anyone wants to stop by.
Yeah, we have a lot this weekend going on, and if anybody would like, need anything, you can call our office. And
I'll be in
we'll
the
answer.
tractor parade in
And
Garrettsville.
Sabrina's gonna plow some fields on Saturday.
Yeah,
And that'll be awesome. All right, I'll entertain a motion unless there's anything else to come before the board.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Call the roll, please.
Jill?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes, thank you all very much.
Have a